Welcome to the post-match press conference of Roberto Martinez after the victory against Russia in our opening game. Please raise your hand virtually, and I can let you in for having your question asked to Roberto Martinez. For the moment, I don't see no hands. Yeah, here we are. Frédéric Bleus. Fred Bleus, tu m'entends? Yeah. Yes.
Hello. Yes, well, good evening. First and foremost, the performance is very pleasing. It's never easy to start a tournament of this magnitude, and I think it looked a team very concentrated that for 90 minutes kept a clean sheet in a very good way, and then obviously the win will allow us to grow and to get into the tournament. In terms of the bad news, really bad news, really sad news to see Timothy Castagne, that has been confirmed, is going to be out of the tournament. He's had the images taken and he's got a double fracture, and now will take the necessary treatment. But I can confirm that Timothy Castagne, unfortunately, will be out of the tournament. Jan Vertonghen has got just a normal, typical football injury, an ankle knock that we're going to probably wait 48 hours to see the real extent, but I don't expect it to be too serious.
Okay, Fred. Ludo van der Wallen. Ludo van der Wallen, als hij mij hoort. Ludo. No Ludo. Then we go to Andrei Pankov as a question for Roberto Martinez.
Hello.
Were you surprised that the Russian team was playing with 4 defenders? Were you surprised with that? Because it was not the usual case.
Well, as you well know, we played each other 3 times, and in the short period of time, and the coach Stanislav has used a back 4 in one of the games and a back 5 in the other 2 games. So we were prepared for both. It wasn't a surprise. I think we knew what the real threats and the patterns of the Russian team. And it doesn't matter if you play a back 4 or back 5, the threat is still the same, that real physical presence of Juve, and he can bring the quality of Golovin and other players into the box, and they will test you. And I was delighted that we were able to defend the box well. We were able to defend in specific situations, but we know how flexible this Russian team are tactically.
Okay, thank you. Guillaume Raats, le soir. Guillaume. Guillaume, vous avez la parole. I think he's there. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Very impressive. You are totally right. It's never easy to start a tournament. There is always a psychological and an emotional element. When you go into a football pitch, you go into the unknown, and it's always difficult. It becomes even harder when you are a substitute. And I must admit that the role of Thomas Meunier as an incredible teammate to Timothy Castagne when he started the game, it was exemplary. And then the way that he was focused and contributed to the victory was a real example for us. And I think that's the real quality of this group. This is a group of people that they care for each other, that they really understand the roles, and there are 26 players that they take what is needed for the team. And I was super proud in the way that Thomas Meunier gave us a real example of how to do that.
Okay, Guillaume. Anssi Karlainen from Finland, one of our opponents. Anssi.
Real sadness. We were watching it live, and then that was probably in the next 5 minutes we were going to our team meeting, and you can imagine the last thing we wanted to speak was about football. It was a real shock, a real sadness. There were tears. We got a lot of teammates in our dressing room that they shared big moments with Christian, and now Thomas. Obviously, we got from Thomas Vermaelen to Toby Alderweireld to Jan Vertonghen, and now currently Romelu Lukaku. So it's a real sense of shock, and we could only send our praise or our thoughts to Christian. And then we all got better news when we saw that it was a recovery, and our wishes from our national team and everyone in Belgium is to Christian today, his family, and the whole Danish team, because that was a really, really tough moment in St. Petersburg. So I can only imagine how difficult it was in Copenhagen.
Okay, thank you. AFP, Alexis. Pour AFP, Alexis Ontang.
Hello. Well, I think the program, as you know, we are in tournament mode. That means 3 games in 9 days. So the recovery is essential. We're going to sleep over in St. Petersburg, and from there we'll carry on working on a very much individual basis for the next 2 days. We need to recover everyone, and we need to try to keep that fitness levels for the players that they were not 90 minutes on the pitch today. Then we got players that they still medically working in a different pace. Axel Witsel and Kevin De Bruyne were not in the squad. There are players that we need to monitor and use every day and every 24 hours. And then from that point, we need to work at everything. We are in tournament football. You have to work on partnerships. You have to work in offensive aspects, defensive aspects, in every way that we can become better. The big advantage is that we've been working with this group of players for a long time. There is a real understanding and clarity of what to do, but we need to get that synchronization back that international football requires.
Okay, thank you. Loïc Brillet from RMC. Loïc, RMC. Vous êtes là? No? Then we go to Steve Douglas. Steve, go ahead. Yes. Yes, we can.
No, I think we are in a position now that we were focusing on ourselves, and there's not much that I can comment. I think it's been already a long time with different reactions all over Europe. I don't think this is new. And the reaction that we got, the biggest reaction is when our fans, that we didn't expect to have many, they started singing the anthem, and we realized we were fully supported, and probably that was a key moment in the mindset of the team, because those voices really help us. Everything else, I don't think is anything new, and it's something that has been quite current in the last 6 months.
Thank you. Guillaume Raats. Guillaume. Loïc. Loïc, tu peux y aller. Loïc Brillet, RMC Sport. No.
It's too late, Stefan. Everyone's sleeping.
Yeah. Guillaume Raats. Guillaume, tu es toujours là? Oui.
Well, obviously those things are not in my power, as you can imagine. We were shocked. We were, as like any human being would react, and we were even more affected because some of our players shared big moments and shared dressing room with Christian. As you know, I'm only the head coach of Belgium. We always wait for instructions, and at that point we were just hoping, praying, and wishing that we could get good news from Copenhagen and see that Christian Eriksen could show good signs, and that's the only focus that we had at that period.
Okay. Thanks all. Thanks, coach. That's it for tonight's press
Thank you,
conference.